Today we're predicting the entire NBA season, from every award winner to every single playoff team in both conferences, all the way to our pick for the 2026 NBA Finals champion. But to never miss an episode, tap that subscribe button. Let's get it. Welcome back to another edition of the Hampton Show. Joel, how are we feeling today?
I'm feeling great. Preseason basketball has started, and I just love the way that we're ramping up towards the season. There's going to be a lot of things that I'm high on that I can't wait to watch this year. I saw Amen Thompson make a three-point shot, and I'm like, okay, maybe this is the year. Maybe the Rockets have more space than we realize. I saw Şengün with double-digit assists. He's their pseudo point guard this year. I mean, my goodness, there's so many things to look forward to. But how are you doing?
I'm good, and today we are doing our annual season prediction show. But first, let's wrap up the final leg of our NBA division previews. The only one left is the Pacific Division, and we're going to start with the Golden State Warriors. This was their offseason overview. They re-signed Jonathan Kuminga, DeAnthony Melton, and Gary Payton. They added Seth Curry, Al Horford, and they said goodbye to Kevon Looney as he departed in free agency to the Pelicans. What's your number one thing to watch for the Warriors?
If they can stay healthy, that's it. Because I think that the depth behind them is thin. But as long as Jimmy, Curry, and Draymond are on the court, I think they're going to win a lot of games. And they could be one of the top teams in the West. But the depth behind that is really scary. Kuminga's coming back, but if history has shown us anything, he's just not going to have that much of an impact or a role on this team. And maybe like the thing I'm most looking forward to outside of those three is how Quentin Post develops, because I thought he was like a bit of a bright spot for them last year with his ability to stretch the floor and rebound the ball. But that's what I'm looking forward to when it comes to the Warriors.
Yeah, that is a completely fair point. One thing I'm watching is the Kuminga and Jimmy Butler fit. I mean, those two guys were completely unplayable together last season. When Curry got hurt, Kuminga stepped up. But whenever it was Curry, Kuminga, and Jimmy, along with Draymond, that lineup just did not do well. And is Kuminga okay with coming off the bench? Is he okay with not getting the multi-year, 4 or 5 year contract that he wanted? Is he okay with, not being paid what he wants to be paid? I think that's the single biggest factor going into this season on, where the Golden State Warriors go. And their age is something serious, bro. I was watching the Steph Curry media day interview, and I had to pause and zoom in. I'm like, is that gray hair on him? One, I'm not emotionally ready to see gray hair on Stephen Curry. I don't know why. He's been in the league forever. LeBron, I'm used to it. I'm used to the ball spot. I'm used to the fill in and the hairline thing with Bron. But Steph, I just was not ready for it. And the age, that is definitely going to show on this team this year. My record prediction for them is 48-34. FanDuel has the number at them at 46.5. How do you see them finishing this season?
I see them finishing around that same number. I'm just going to take into account injuries with them because they're old.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a 45 win record. I think that's the ballpark for them. That's what I'm going to go with. I feel comfortable with that.
Yep. So you take the under on that 46.5. I'll take the over on that. We'll get to the division finish at the end of it, but I got them second. Let's stay in the state of California and talk about the LA Clippers. Their offseason overview was this. They re-signed Nick Batum, James Harden. They added Bradley Beal, John Collins, Brook Lopez, Chris Paul, and Ty Washington is still in the league and on the Clippers. They said goodbye to Amir Coffey, Drew Eubanks, and Norman Powell in that trade with the Miami Heat. What's your one thing to watch there?
I'm watching how much age will affect how great this team is going to be, because I think that this is a contender. I think this is one of the best teams in the West. You look at the roster top to bottom. Kawhi Leonard now starting off the season healthy. He now replaces Amir Coffey's minutes from last year when he started the season as a valuable player for them. And I think that the Bradley Beal fit is going to be amazing for them. I don't know about you, but James Harden is the ultimate playmaker and floor raiser who can get everybody into their spots. They now have an added scorer because I think Bradley Beal off the bounce is better than Norman Powell. He can attack the basket better. He can handle the ball better. He can play make better. And then they added John Collins, an athletic four who can rebound, who can space the floor somewhat, but most importantly is a rim runner. And I think that's going to complement Harden a lot. I think Harden is going to do an amazing job getting John Collins involved. And then off the bench, Brook Lopez, Chris Dunn, Batum, Derrick Jones Jr. They have some defenders, and Chris Paul. He doesn't have to play like a super impactful role, but he's going to be a leader on this team. I think the Clippers have like a serious shot to win the NBA championship. I think they're going to be that good.
I would believe you if it was 5 years ago. The bottom line is what you started with. It's age. We talked about that with the Warriors, but here it's even tenfold that. Steph Curry has had a relatively healthy career. Draymond Green has had a relatively healthy career. Can I say that about Kawhi Leonard? Has James Harden showed up in playoff moments like Steph Curry? I can't say that either. And you can make the Bradley Beal argument, okay, but Bradley Beal paired with James Harden in 2025 just doesn't get me excited. I'm not going to sit here and act like James Harden wasn't an all-star and all-NBA caliber player last year. He was. He was the reason they were what they were. But Bradley Beal doesn't make me feel any type of different way. John Collins, he's been basically in witness protection over the last 3 years. I don't know what to expect from him. My one thing to watch for them doesn't even have to do with their new players, their current players, their age, or injuries. It has to do with how does Kawhi handle the noise. We know he's going to be quiet about it with the media, but I'm talking about on the court. How does he handle this, all this noise around him? Because if there's one thing about journalism, it's not going to stop, and all these investigations are not going to stop. The NBA's may, but the outside journalist is not. I don't think the questions will just all of a sudden be halted from getting asked. It is going to be an 82 game questioning of how this happened, why this happened, and not to mention all the things that are going to be said on a night-to-night basis from fans. That's what separates the NBA from the NFL. The NBA, you see a lot of viral videos of fans talking to players or players talking to fans because they're so close together. An NBA court is a lot smaller than an NFL field, and you can hear and you're right next to each other. So I think that could take a toll over the course of a season. Kawhi has never been a guy to feel any type of pressure from the media, clearly, with all of his injuries and how he's handled that. But this is a different type of pressure. This is a questioning of fairness, and this is a questioning of, did you do something you were not supposed to do? And the most likely answer is yes, and I want to see how he handles that on the basketball court.
I don't think it's going to affect Kawhi Leonard at all. I felt like he was nonchalant about it and didn't care about it when he was asked about it. Maybe there's going to be some more groundbreaking news that comes out as the season progresses. But for the most part, like I think that the organization doesn't care about it. Kawhi doesn't care about it. The players don't care about it. It's different if this was a real legal case, like Kobe early 2000s type vibe where it's something that he's going to court and his freedom is in jeopardy because of it. This I just feel like it's not going to affect the basketball court product.
That's a fair argument because it's not a legal thing, but my counter is the Bill Belichick story. If you would have asked me after winning 6 Super Bowls and doing what he has done with a younger girlfriend, which again it's not illegal to date somebody 50 years younger than you, but clearly with how badly his team has played, being outscored by over 100 points against Power 4 opponents, it has affected that program. And Kawhi, Bill Belichick seemed like a guy that was unfazable. And I don't know if he's still if this is what's affected him, but something has affected him this year. And whether it's the girlfriend or something else, I think that is a more comparable thing than as far as the Kobe thing to Kawhi. That's my argument.
I can see that.
My record prediction for them is 49-33. I agree with you. I think they're going to be a top team in the West, top 4, top 5 team. I just can't push them over 50. One, not only because of the Kawhi investigation, but also the health that all of it depends on. Their FanDuel number is 47.5. I'm taking the over on it. How do you feel?
I'm going above 50. They've won 50 games over the last 3 seasons, I believe. And they're better now. And they've had injuries then. So I'm going to go over 50.
Got you. Let's move into the Sacramento Kings. Offseason overview was this. They re-signed Doug McDermott, added Drew Eubanks, Dario Saric, Dennis Schroeder, said goodbye to Jake LaRavia, Jonas Valanciunas. By far the weirdest offseason in the entire NBA. What's your one thing to watch for them?
If John Morant can get back to form, Cedric Coward.
No. Sacramento Kings. Sacramento Kings.
Sorry. Yeah. Sacramento Kings. Really nothing. There's nothing I'm looking forward to with this team. Nothing at all.
I agree. Only thing I could dig up is how does Doug Christie follow up Mike Brown? Mike Brown's a controversial firing in the first place. How does he follow that? My record prediction is 32-50. Their betting number is 34.5, taking the under on that. You feel the same way?
There's weirdly talented, with Malik Monk, Zach LaVine, Domantas Sabonis. They have talent. DeMar DeRozan. So I can't go under. I think 35 is valid. I think 35, 36, 37 wins around there,
Got you.
teetering around like the 40 win mark. But
Yeah.
yeah, this is like not going to be a good or very highly competitive basketball team.
Completely agree. Another non-playoff team that has that expectation going into the season is the Phoenix Suns. Their offseason overview was this. They re-signed Devin Booker on that massive extension. Colin Gillespie returns on a one-year deal. They added Dylan Brooks, Jared Butler, Jordan Goodwin, Jalen Green, Nigel Hayes Davis, and Mark Williams via that trade with the Hornets. That Mark Williams deal feels like it was years ago, but it's crazy. They said goodbye to Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Tyus Jones, Cody Martin, Vasily Micic, Mason Plumlee, and Ty Washington in free agency to the Clippers. One thing to watch for the Suns.
Devin Booker. Devin Booker, I think, is going to have his best season yet. And it's a shame. I feel like him and Giannis are both two players that went to the 2021 NBA Finals, just on teams right now that just can't compete for a championship when I feel like they deserve to be at the highest level and highest stage. Outside of that, I'm very interested in the development of Maluach. I think Maluach is a giant. I think Maluach can be an exceptional player if he develops. I love his story.
I knew this.
And he's just an enormous human being. That's what he is. He's enormous.
I was prepared for you to bring this up, and it was on one of my things to watch, and I'll get to it in a second, but I have multiple things I want to watch. Number one, how do they stagger this shooting guard overlap? You talk about Devin Booker having the greatest season of his career. He's going to need to, playmaking-wise, because nobody else on this team is a playmaker. Not Jalen Green, not Dylan Brooks. Who handles that? It's got to be Devin Booker. How do they handle that lack of playmaking? Because if it's not, whenever D-Book, he can't play all 48 minutes, who's it going to be on the court that's passing the ball? Can Mark Williams stay healthy? They push their chips in on that. And on top of that, they drafted Kaman Malawach. And my final thing to watch is Joel way too high on Kaman Malawach. That was my thing to watch because I have heard about him nonstop since before the draft, during the draft, after the draft. I want to see him play NBA basketball because in the summer league, I watched him and I was like, it feels like another one of those guys Joel just fell in love with for absolutely, utterly no reason.
What do you mean no reason? What is there not to love about Malawach?
We'll see. We'll see. You came on here talking about Khalil Ware in the preseason. I didn't hear anything about Malawach. Has he played?
I'm a big fan of gigantic, enormous men. And
Pause.
Khalil Ware
Pause.
is that. He's not thick, but he's slender. He's slender and he can shoot the ball. He can handle. But Malawach, he's big. He's thick. He's long. He covers ground. He's not developed just yet, but the rim protection is going to be valuable. His rebounding could use a boost because he's not the most physical player. I think he has, weirdly enough, like touch, a good form to where he can develop that shot.
Bet you would touch him.
I just think I think he's going to be an awesome player. It might not be this year, but I'm looking forward to seeing what he can contribute in year one.
Put your money where your mouth is. I got him 33 and 49, taking the over on 31.5, but it's not saying much. You feel the same way?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think they're going to be a bad team, but weirdly enough, I think that Dylan Brooks makes a big difference on this team. There's something about Dylan Brooks' attitude. Wherever he goes, he wins. He turned around the culture in Memphis. He was a big reason for that. He turned around the culture in Houston. He was a big reason for that. The dancing and the pregame. I mean, come on now. It's Dylan Brooks initiated.
Yeah, but that was the reason they got their ass beat by the Lakers in the playoffs. I mean,
well, I don't know if it was just him. I mean, Bane didn't play super well. Ja didn't play super well. Jaren didn't play super well.
Dylan Brooks shot 11% from three in the series, 28% from the field.
Everybody
Memphis
has
fans
bad nights.
have talked about if we got the Rockets version of Dylan Brooks, 8-shot Dylan Brooks is a great role player, one of the best in the NBA. We didn't get that version. We got 19-shot version of Dylan Brooks, which is not a good player and can lose you series and did lose them series, in fact, to the Warriors and the Lakers. If you get 8-shot Dylan Brooks, he's great. And Houston, that was a great fit for him. He's going right back to his old ways in Memphis. That is what he's going to be in Phoenix. And he was quoted his second year in the NBA. John Morant was a rookie. Jaren Jackson was in his second year as well. He said, this team reminds me of the Miami Heat Big Three. John Morant is Dwayne Wade. Jaren Jackson's Chris Bosh, and I'm LeBron James. That's what kind of delusion we're talking about with Dylan Brooks. And I swear to God, that's a real quote, and that is what he has said, and that's what he's going to turn back into in Phoenix.
I think that's a good thing for Phoenix. They need delusional confidence. And
Not that
I
delusional.
think that, Dylan Brooks, he brings a new attitude to Phoenix where last year Phoenix was lethargic. They actually didn't have players that cared. That was the problem with them. Is that they had players that just went out there. Bradley Beal didn't give
Who else
two
didn't care?
two Fs. Kevin Durant, I think, Kevin Durant is like a contracting hire. He's just gonna go get buckets. That's what he's gonna do. Dylan Brooks is gonna bring an attitude to Phoenix that I feel like they need. He's going to bring passion to Phoenix. And I think he's a good vet. I mean, there's no question that he was a good leader for the Grizzlies. He was a good leader for the Rockets.
He was not
And
a
I
good
think
leader
the
for the Grizzlies.
Suns, he's going to be a good leader for them too.
He started with all the LeBron James commentary. This is your version of good leadership. He
Yes.
started that LeBron James, I poke bears, blah, blah, blah. LeBron drops 20 and 20 on his head, quite literally, because he guarded him the whole game. Once they lose the series, Dylan does not go to the media. Before, he's doing the Stone Cold Steve Austin, got the outfit on, talking to the media, poke bears, and then did not show up afterwards. There is no leadership when it comes to Dylan Brooks. And this delusion of you have, I don't even know what their starting lineup is. Is it Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and who else? Like, what sense does
Ryan
that make for
Dunn.
the first three guards? Chris Dunn? Okay. Cool.
Ryan Dunn, Mark Williams. That'd probably be the starting five.
Yeah, I would rather do other things. I'll just keep it at that. We'll move on. LA Lakers, final team in Pacific Division. Offseason overviews this. Re-signed Luka Doncic in August. Jackson Hayes returned on a one-year deal. They added DeAndre Ayton, Jake LaRavia, Marcus Smart, and they said goodbye to Dorian Finney-Smith, Jordan Goodwin, and Trey Jemison III, as well as Shake Milton. What's your one thing to watch for this team?
How well DeAndre is going to play for them. I think that's the number one thing. We know what Luka's going to bring.
Mm-hmm.
We know what LeBron's going to bring.
Mm-hmm.
We know what Reeves is going to bring.
Mm-hmm.
It's about Ayton. And I think if you get a good version of Ayton, I think the team is much better than last year. But they still need perimeter defense. And I feel like that's where they're lacking. That's the weakness on their roster. But Ayton, at least, if he's good, solves the center issue.
Does he, though? I sent
If he's
you
good. If he's good.
if he's, I mean, you have a bet that he's going to average over 15 points a game. So I can't wait to see you in
Absolutely.
person in 2 weeks and go ahead and collect on that after you see the first game of the season. I sent you a tweet yesterday, and it was very simple. DeAndre Ayton was asked, how has it been working with LeBron James and Luka Doncic? They've had a few weeks of training camp, several practices, a couple preseason games that they have not played in, but they've been able to, practice together. DeAndre Ayton responded with 2 words: I haven't. That's what kind of mentality that DeAndre Ayton brings to the Lakers. It's not, it's LeBron and Luka's. Like, I haven't worked with them, even though I haven't asked. This is the last chance for my career, and I haven't asked. I haven't been the first one in the gym so I can work with them. Because I'm sure if he asked Luka and LeBron, hey, can we come to the gym early and get some work in? They would say yes, absolutely, DA. But he doesn't want that. And I don't know if he's going to be any type of solution for this team. And he was not a solution for the Portland Trailblazers, and that's why they quit on him. So it's quite simple. My one thing to watch is, will their bench be enough? Here's their first 5 guys off the bench: Gabe Vincent, Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, Jared Vanderbilt, and Jackson Hayes. Vincent, Smart, LaRavia, Vanderbilt, and Hayes. If that's your first 5 off the bench, that's a problem. That's why I don't have them winning 50 games. I have them winning 49 and 33. Over under on FanDuel is 49 and a half. I'm taking the under on that. How do you feel?
This is a team that I'm kind of getting lower on as the season is nearing.
Interesting.
So I'm gonna go under on that. I'm gonna go under. I
Are
think
you ready to come to the underside on DeAndre Ayton points?
no. I think he'll get that
Why do you feel so confidently in that?
because he's an empty stats player.
Okay. We move into predicting the entire NBA season. We're going to start with NBA awards. We're going to fly through these and then get into the playoff teams and then our NBA finals prediction as well. Joel, go ahead and read. Actually, I'll go ahead and read all 6 of my NBA awards, and then I'll get to you. Rookie of the Year, simple, Cooper Flag. Sixth Man of the Year, I had Ty Jerome, but with recent injury news, I put Jordan Clarkson here. I think Ty Jerome's going to be starting for the Memphis Grizzlies, therefore ineligible to win this award. My most improved player is Andrew Nemhard. My Coach of the Year is your Mike Brown. So yes, in 2 of the first 4 awards, I have 2 Knicks winning them. Pressure continues to mount in New York and can't wait to watch it. Defensive Player of the Year, simple. It's Victor Wembanyama. My MVP is Luka Doncic. Not because of how great the Lakers are going to be. It's because of how great he has to be for the Lakers just to be good enough.
That's valid. My MVP, as you know, my on this show is has switched multiple times. My prediction. It's been
They
one
always do.
guy. There's three players that I am betting on for the MVP.
Now, you can't bet on three. Can we take one?
I'm going to pick one on this show, but I'm going to
Okay.
let the audience know that my personal time, I'm going to open up a sports book and I'm going to put money on all three of these guys
Okay.
because I want to have some skin in the game.
So you're gonna lose money.
But my number one MVP is Anthony Edwards. I think Anthony Edwards is winning MVP this season. The Timberwolves were one of the best teams in the NBA post All-Star break once Julius Randle got back. People forget that Dante and Randle were injured for them last season. They did lose Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but I think Terrence Shannon Jr. can step into that role.
I don't.
He's a much better scorer than him. He's much better at attacking the basket, but Nikhil is a better defender. I think we saw a Jaden McDaniels leap from them, and this is all relevant because in order to win MVP, the Timberwolves need to have a high seed. I think they will have a high seed, and I think Anthony Edwards is going to average anywhere from 28 to 30 a night. I think he's going to absolutely take over this season and not only win MVP, but be on an all defensive team. That's my prediction for Anthony Edwards.
Honestly, I can't even argue with it. He's going to have to step up his playmaking. Mike Conley is a foot and a half in the grave. I don't trust Terrence Shannon. I don't trust. I'm trying to think of the other guard they
Rob
had.
Dillingham,
Yeah, Rob
Jalen Clark.
Dillingham. Yeah, Jalen Clark could play spot minutes for them, but as far as the other two guys, I don't trust them. So Anthony Edwards is going to have to up his playmaking along with his scoring for this team to be a high seed that they aspire to be. And I'm betting on that. And we're going to see in my playoff teams that is a bet I'm willing to take. So I don't hate that at all. As far as DPOY, Coach of the Year, MIP, Six Man of the Year, Rookie of the Year, did you disagree or have any different opinions on those?
Defensive player of the year, I think, is obvious. It's
Yep.
Victor Wembanyama.
Mm-hmm.
Coach of the year, I do have Mike Brown as well. Most improved player is where I think that's the award that's the trickiest, but I think I might just go with Andrew Nemhard,
Yep.
just the increased opportunity. So I think that was a good one that you had. And
Six Man of the Year, Rookie of the Year.
sixth man of the year, Payne Pritchard, someone like that.
Jordan Clarkson.
Jordan Clarkson could win six man of the year. I mean, you might as well have Jalen Brunson for MVP.
Good. A lot of Knicks on here. A lot of Knicks. I mean, I'm not the only guy picking the Knicks and everything. There's just a lot of building pressure up in New York, and
I actually
I'm
want to
sure
change my awards.
their fan base is a mature, relaxed, patient fan base. So I'm sure they're going to be understanding if something were to happen.
I think the award could be MVP Jalen Brunson, Six Man of the Year Jordan Clarkson, Coach of the Year Mike Brown, Defensive Player of the Year OG Anunoby or Mitchell Robinson. What other award is there that is relevant?
I'm trying to think of. You could have said last year Rookie of the Year Tyler Kolek, but I don't even know
Okay,
the rookie they
Rookie
have.
of the Year Cooper Flag, obvious one, yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's not Cooper Flag, I mean, who knows? Most Improved Player, Khalil Ware.
When did you watch this game or did it pop up on your Twitter feed? What is the story behind this? Because there's no way you, as a football head, are just, you know what, cue up the Miami Heat preseason game. It had to be on Twitter.
It was on Twitter, and I saw his baskets and I saw his girth because he got thicker in the offseason. You could see it. It wasn't a big difference, but you could see it.
You've been talking about a lot of people's length, girth, thickness, touching, their touch around the rim.
Length matters, man,
Yeah, it sure does. It sure does. Let's get into the
especially in basketball.
That's very true. Let's get into the West playoff teams. I'll list my eight and then let you list your eight as well. At number one, clearly Oklahoma City Thunder, another 60-win season. Simple. Denver is number two, biggest threat to OKC, and it's not even close, especially with Houston injuries. At number 3 through 7, I have teams. 1 and 2 is in a different stratosphere. 3 through 7 is going to be similar to last year in my eyes. It's going to be 4 to 5 teams that are separated by a game and a half, and that's it. So a team at 7 could be at 3, and there's really no difference between 3 and 7, in my opinion. At 3, I have Houston. Clippers, I have 4. Minnesota, I have 5. Again, Minnesota could be at 3, wouldn't be surprised. LA Lakers at 6, and the Golden State Warriors at 7. And you can move that order in any type of way you want to, and I'm probably not going to disagree with it. At 8 is where it gets tough, Joel, because you have 3 options, really. The Spurs, the Grizzlies, and the Mavericks. I don't really like any of them over another, despite everything I have said this offseason. So Joel, I'm going to leave it up to you to choose whatever team you want out of those three. But all offseason, I was ready to go to war for my Grizzlies to be better than the Spurs. But then the preseason happened. How do you have four starters out of a preseason game, not due to rest, but due to actual injuries? How does that happen? I feel like I'm watching the same shit in a different year. And I'm the sucker who was going to be there on opening night before I had to do their uniform reveal in New York. I was the sucker who buys tickets and believes in this team on this show. But who knows if Ja will be there on opening night? Who knows if Jaren Jackson will be there on opening night? We know Zach Edey won't be there on opening night, and we know Brandon Clark won't be either. So at the end of the day, you know what? Just give me the Grizzlies. I don't care. I can't not pick them, but I'm very frustrated with the Grizzlies as we speak.
The frustration is warranted, not surprising. Some
Why are
needed
you
to
smirking?
see it happen before, I guess, realizing what was going to happen. But it's hard to pick between all those teams. My seeding order: OKC 1, Minnesota's 2, Denver's 3, the Clippers are 4, the Rockets are 5, the Lakers are 6, the Mavericks are 7, the Spurs are 8, the Warriors are 9,
What?
the Grizzlies are 10. And then 11 and 15 is the Pelicans, Blazers, Suns, Kings, and Jazz. I'm really not that bought in the Blazers. I know that they were kind of hot last year because of their defense and they brought in Drew Holiday, but I'm really not the highest on them. I think the Pelicans are more talented, and I could see the Pelicans being a playing team and being better than Memphis. I think the Pelicans are going to surprise people this year with the healthy Zion.
Let that simmer a little bit. So many places I want to start. We'll just start with the last thing you said. The Pelicans being a potential play-in team. I'm not even going to argue the Grizzlies part of it. I've already covered that side of things. Pelicans being a play-in team.
Yes.
For that to happen, clearly, obviously, DeJounte Murray's not going to start the season.
Doesn't
Jordan
matter.
Poole has to be a reliable point guard for them.
Yes.
And the key is in the point of the guard. You have to be able to play make, especially next to guys like Zion Williamson. Jordan Poole has not averaged 4 assists at any point throughout his career with the Warriors or with the Wizards. Jordan
Zion's
Poole
a playmaker.
he's
Zion's the playmaker.
he's not going to bring the ball up the court 100 times a game. That's not going to happen.
He could do it 50
I would
times.
bet my life savings on that. Jordan Poole has to be a playmaker. Not only that, they have to decide between their cluster of big men. They signed Kevon Looney. They have Yves Misi on the roster. And then they trade their first-round draft pick for Derek Queen. Like, what is that? Nothing this team does makes sense. I would have rather them run it back with CJ McCollum because he was money falling off the books this year, and that way he had value in February. Instead, they made that deal for Jordan Poole for whatever reason, and it is what it is. This is a team that no longer has Brandon Ingram anymore. So that void has to be filled as well. They are the beacon of bad health. If we're talking about health, they're the beacon of it, and I don't trust their health. I don't trust them if they are healthy, and that is probably the most ridiculous point out of all of them. Another thing I wanted to talk, Warriors at 9. So a team that we just talked about in the preview who has close to 48 wins in your mind is going to end up at 9. At number 7, we have the Dallas Mavericks for whatever reason. D'Angelo Russell, I guess, is going to be a starting point guard on a playoff team. Cool. At number 2, Minnesota over Denver. Minnesota's fine, but you just listed why Nickeil Alexander-Walker was better than any option they have right there. I don't care about Anthony Edwards' ascension. Denver's a better team, and that's clear.
I don't know if it's clear. Minnesota has owned Denver. Last year, they owned them in the regular season.
We're not
and the
talking
year
about
before
head-to-head.
them, they owned them in the playoffs. Minnesota has still a lot of depth. They have an awesome starting lineup. They have great bench players. They have Naz Reid, Dante, Terrence Shannon Jr. off the bench. Though Jalen Clark was awesome for them last year in spot minutes, and I think he's ready to take on a bigger role. Rob Dillingham, don't sleep on Rob Too Shifty. I'm trying to tell you, don't sleep on him.
I'm snoring.
I know it's been a rough start to the preseason, but I'm not giving up on Rob Too Shifty just yet. And Minnesota has an awesome roster. Like, I don't get the pushback. I think Denver has shown before they don't take the regular season that serious. So that's my logic there. And Golden State, I said they're going to be like a 45, 46 win team. My problem with them is that they could get hurt, and they're old. The difference with them and Dallas is that Dallas has depth. Dallas legitimately, like outside of Anthony Davis and Cooper Flag, they have really good NBA players.
Hmm.
I can't say that for Golden State. PJ Washington's really good. Lively's really good. Gafford's really good. Najee Marshall's really good. Klay Thompson is solid. He's fine at this point, but Klay Thompson probably would be the Warriors' fourth best player right now. Like, I really think that the
True.
Mavericks just have way more depth, and that's why. And if you get healthy AD, and if Cooper Flag is Rookie of the Year, which we all expect him to be, and he makes an immediate impact from day one, this is going to be a scary team in the West, especially once Kyrie comes back. They can contend.
I heard three ifs as far as the Mavs argument. If Kyrie comes back, if Anthony Davis is healthy, and if Cooper Flag comes in and makes an instant impact. And one
He
thing you didn't
will.
mention, and he will, but he's going to be asked to do something he didn't even do in college, and that is initiate the offense and be a playmaker. He wasn't asked to do that in college, so why do we think he can just sleepwalk in the NBA into that role? That is not possible. And as far as the Minnesota and Denver argument, Minnesota, a team that had a better roster last year, finished sixth in the Western Conference. Denver, a team who fired their coach and did not have nearly as good as a roster last year as they did this year, finished fourth. Now, roles are just going to flip-flop in Minnesota. Losing Nickeil Alexander-Walker is going to jump Denver when Denver found a way to get better. Now that Denver has stability, that doesn't just make any sense to me at all.
Dante missed 20 games. Randall missed 13 games. I mean, I think that they just had injuries last year that I expect them to be healthier. I do. And I think it wasn't even just the missed games for Randall. It was more so he needed to miss that time for the team to kind of figure themselves out a little bit, because before his injury, they weren't meshing well. They started out the season 500, and it took them a while to learn how to play with each other. Once they figured that out, they were one of the best teams in the league. And there's no doubt about it, in my opinion. People talk about Denver took OKC to 7. That's impressive.
What did
And
Minnesota
Denver,
do? What did Minnesota do?
okay, Minnesota lost to OKC. Minnesota is also a bad matchup for OKC, because had Minnesota played Denver in the conference finals, they would have went to the NBA championship.
We haven't seen this version of Denver play them. One, the roster's different. Two, I would argue last year Denver would have won. It was different coaching, bro. Mike Malone's Nuggets, yes, lost in 7 games to Minnesota 2 years ago. But I'm not sitting here acting like that result's going to carry over to this with a new coaching staff and with a new roster.
I'm buying in on the Edwards leap, and the Denver Nuggets are fine. I mean, I think all in all, if you rank the conference, Denver is the biggest threat to OKC, but this is regular season seeding. And I
Yes.
don't think Denver is going to take the regular season as seriously as Minnesota. We've seen Denver kind of, they can cruise in the regular season. We've seen it before, and that's what they do.
And they did cruise last year. And in the middle of that cruise, they fired their coach and they finished 4th above Minnesota.
So I got them
You
finishing
can point
third.
to injuries. You can point to injuries, Joel. But if Minnesota has those same injuries this year as last year, they don't have the same players to make it up. Mike Conley's a year older, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker is simply not there.
I am kind of baffled at the disrespect that you're showing to Terrence Shannon Jr.
What have we seen from Terrence Shannon Jr. that proves he can be a starter and excel on a number 2 seed Western Conference team in your mind?
Last season, whenever he played more than 20 minutes per game,
Which is how many times?
he averaged 16.
Okay.
In the OKC series, when they called on his number after they were down 0-2, he was the biggest spark in that game. When they came back against OKC down 20 in the regular season, it was led by Terrence Shannon Jr. He's better than Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I'm just gonna say that right now. He's a better player than him.
Offensively, I will not argue with that. Defensively, I will. And I don't know if they need scoring from a point guard.
They do.
There's only one ball. It's Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle
They
on the
need
same
scoring.
team.
They
Okay.
need scoring.
Okay,
They do.
fine. I think Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards can handle it. But as far as defense, they need that more than anything. This guy averaged 1 assist last season.
That's fine. That we don't need you to do anything else. Just score. That's his job. That's
When
his
he
job.
played more than 20 minutes, he averaged 10.6 minutes a game last year. Per 36 is good. 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3.4 assists. He's gonna be a great point guard for them.
He's not a point guard. He's a shooting guard.
My problem is point guard. That is my problem. Mike
I
Conley's
just
virtually unplayable.
Okay, so there were 5 instances where Terrence Shannon Jr. played more than 20 minutes per game. There were 5. He had 11 points in one of them, 17 in the other, 13 in the other, 17 in the other, and 25 in the other. And he also rebounds the ball. And all like I'm looking at his in all those games he had like more than 5 rebounds. So he what I'm saying is that he's an impactful player. That's what I'm saying. And
He
I think
is.
that if you think that Alexander's defense is so valuable to the point that like it supersedes the offensive impact Terrence Shannon Jr. makes, then well, so be it. But I think that defensively they're pretty fine. They have Ant, they have Jaden, they have Gobert, and they have Jalen Clark off the bench. Clark is a good defender.
Listen, I'm not low on Minnesota. Terrence Shannon is a contributor. I have them as a top 5 team in the Western Conference. I just have Denver above them. And for them to do what either you or I want them to do and be a top Western Conference team, it's going to come down to Anthony Edwards and his leap in playmaking and his MVP leap that you're talking about right there. That's
He's
what
going
this
to do it
comes
every
down to.
year. He
Okay.
took a 3-point shooting lead. This year is going to be the mid-range shooting lead. I believe it.
I'm at the point where I believe Nikola Jokic is still the better player. I
Yeah.
believe that Denver has surrounded him better or just as well as the 2023 championship year. I'm a believer in that more than I'm a believer in Minnesota right now.
Okay, that's fair.
Let's get into the Eastern Conference.
Oh, this should be fun.
Number one is the team I've had at number one all offseason. It's the New York Knicks. It's going to be a 60-win season. Like I said before, it's all about Mike Brown. Hopefully that defense can stay middle of the pack because I think the offense is going to get exponentially better. Clarkson will be an upgrade over Campaign. Yabusele should be an upgrade over Achua. Their offense, like I said, will be better, and we can see what their defense is. At number 2 is Cleveland. At number 3 is Orlando. At number 4 is Detroit. Cade Cunningham is going to take another leap this year. I believe in that. That's why I have them above Atlanta and why I have Atlanta at 5. I'm high on them. I just don't trust KP to stay healthy enough for them to be a top 4 seed in this Eastern Conference. At number 6, I have the Indiana Pacers. At 7, the Boston Celtics. And at number 8, I have the Milwaukee Bucks, and I have them this low because I don't think Giannis will be there at the end of the season.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so the Bucks low. I wish I had the courage that you had. I just think that Giannis can carry them to a higher seed.
They will. If he's there, they will, but I
yeah.
just don't think he's going to be there.
I hope he's not. So I have the Knicks at 1. I have the Cavaliers at 2. I have the Magic at 3. I just think that they have too much talent with Paolo, Franz being so exceptionally great and phenomenal. Desmond Bain.
There you go.
Jalen Suggs. And then I think the X factor for them is going to be Jace Richardson. I think he's going to play this season as a rookie. He offers shooting. He offers slashing ability. I think he's a swing for them. I have the Pistons at 4. I love their continuity, and I love the leaps that their young players can take and the optimism that I have in that with Jaden Ivey being healthy, Jalen Duren finally having like a good year last year and really showing his two-way ability. And then Isaiah Stewart. I love Stu. 5, I have the Atlanta Hawks. 6, I have the Milwaukee Bucks. 7, I have the Miami Heat. I think that they're, albeit a little bit underwhelming, like they're not a contender, but I think there's no question that Norman Powell makes them better offensively, and they needed some more offensive punch, and I think Powell can bring that. And then I'm really high on Khalil Ware. I think he's going to be so much better this year. And I don't know why you roll your eyes. Do you have eyes? Are you
because you're talking about them being a playoff team? That's why.
Yes.
That's why I'm rolling my eyes.
Khalil Ware is awesome. I don't understand this Khalil Ware disrespect.
There's no disrespect. He's going to be a good player in this league.
He's going to be
he's not going to be the reason they get catapulted into a playoff team. This team lost 15 games in a row to end the season. And you want to guess who the starting center was? Khalil Ware.
He's a rookie. He was a rookie. Relax. Number 8, I got the Pacers. I know that you saw those Isaiah Jackson at the 5 minutes. Look pretty solid to me.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Sure
The center position isn't as dire as you think with Isaiah Jack stepping in there. The Boston Celtics at 9, probably the team I could be the most wrong about, but I really don't care. Number 10, the Sixers. I just don't trust them to stay healthy. Number 11, the Raptors. Number 12, the Hornets. Number 13, the Bulls. The Bulls are also a team that I could be wrong about, and they could be a playing team, but I really just don't believe in them.
No, they can.
14, the Wizards, and 15, the Nets.
So Miami over Boston is definitely a choice. Miami, it's not an indictment to Khalil Ware or an indictment to Bam Adebayo, who took a step back last year. It's an indictment to the fit. Norm Powell next to Tyler Hero and Andrew Wiggins. Don't know what sense that makes. And I
That
think
sounds good.
internally, they don't believe in the sense that makes either, which is why they've been trying to trade Andrew Wiggins all summer and have been unable to do so. That fit is a problem. And as far as the Khalil Ware nonsense, I think yeah,
Nonsense.
he can be a starting center in this
The
league.
disrespect to
He can be
Khalil
a
Ware.
starting center in this league,
He's
but
going to
he's
be an
not going to
all
be the
star one day.
reason. He's not going to be the reason they finish above the Boston Celtics. I view Ware similar to how I view Derek Lively. I think Ware has a higher ceiling. Both of them do not push the needle as a third option on any type of team.
He's not. He's the fourth or the
Okay, as
fifth.
a fourth, or he's not a reason that they're going to be a playoff team. And the way you keep
Yes, he
talking about him
is.
like he is, it's not
He's
true.
going to be an all star one day. And I'm trying to get you to realize that. Khalil Ware is going to be a star.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and act like I was infuriated watching him all last year whenever we drafted the big, tall, lumber bozo that we drafted when we should have been clear Ware. Can you imagine Ware catching lobs from Ja Morant for 42 games a year?
You'd probably be sipping the Kool Aid on him right now. That's what you would be doing. But instead, you're
100%.
hating.
Because it would be a lot better fit than him. Who's going to throw him a lob? Davion Mitchell? Tyler Hero ain't passing the ball. Is Norm Powell doing that? Is Andrew Wiggins doing that? The
The
fit is a
Miami
problem
Heat,
for him too, and I think his ceiling would have been a lot higher at the Grizzlies, which is why I was so mad we didn't draft him. We should have never drafted Zach Edey over him. We shouldn't have.
the
It's a clumsy
Miami
bozo.
Heat are a better roster than the Celtics. Without question. Without question.
The
Without
top
Tatum.
end talent on the Boston Celtics is better. I trust
Jalen
Jalen
Brown
Brown.
and Derek White.
I think Jalen Brown's going to average 32 points a game.
Jalen Brown, Derek White versus Bam and Hero. I mean, come on. It's the same.
I think Joe Mazzulla, with his how many threes they're going to shoot this year, they're going to have a chance in every game. They may get beat by 30, but they also may win by 30. I just think Boston's going to have a better regular season than the Miami Heat. Everything else, I didn't disagree with. New York Knicks up top, love that, and the predictions we continue to have on them. There's no hidden motives. I'm just super excited to watch them go to the NBA Finals, and we'll get to that prediction in a second. Cleveland, we both have it too. Orlando, I'm glad you finally came around. You mentioned Desmond Bane, pretty low on the list. You also didn't mention Tyus Jones. You just keep forgetting that he exists. Jace Richardson's going to be the guy. Detroit, agree with everything you said there. Continuity is great. I'm glad you've kind of cooled off on the Atlanta Hawks because Kristaps Porzingis, whenever he was playing in Eurobasket and you were taking some type of drawaways from that, and hey, did you see this game? Did you see that game? I said no, I didn't, because it doesn't convert. Have you seen Dennis Schroeder in national games? It does not convert to the NBA. And Kristaps Porzingis, yes, he looks healthy, but that's right now, and I don't trust that for him to be a top 4 seed. And I'm glad you came around on that. And I'm also want to commend you because we agree on the Indiana Pacers. We both think they're going to be better than the Boston Celtics. You turn me around on that, and I'll give you credit for it. Milwaukee is the hardest team to predict. They're either going to be a mid to low level Eastern Conference team, or they're going to be a low level Eastern Conference team without Giannis. That is where we stand, and I'm glad we agree more in the East and the West.
I'm glad we do too.
What's your finals prediction?
The New York Knicks.
First?
Anybody, doesn't matter. Knicks in 4.
No, go ahead and make it. Do what I know you want to do. I know what you want to do and what team you want to put in there. And it's not the Oklahoma City Thunder, and it's not the Denver Nuggets either. You know who you want to put in there.
Just don't believe in the Timberwolves making the finals.
I don't either.
So I think it's going to be – so we have to just look at what history has shown us. We haven't had a team go to the finals in multiple consecutive years, right? So the Knicks versus Denver could be the finals matchup. I mean, that's what I'd lean with right now.
You
never know. Championship hangover.
I'm about to jump out the window. You know how much shit you gave me 2 weeks ago for making this prediction? And you're on here making the exact same prediction?
Knicks versus Nuggets.
Okay. I got Knicks Nuggets too. 6 consecutive years of non-repeat champions. And I said it last week. The reason we think the Thunder are the most likely to repeat when it hasn't been done in the last 6 years is because they're the most recent ones. And this time last year, Boston had the best shot of it. And this time 2 years ago, Denver had the best shot to repeat. It hasn't happened, and it won't happen this year. And that's why I have the Knicks versus the Nuggets, and the Knicks winning their first NBA title since 1973.
Nice. Okay, I thought you were gonna go with Denver for a second there. Hopefully you're right. Hope I'm right too.
Hopefully we are too. I know we're going to be texting throughout it. Next week should be a normal schedule for us. The following week, I will probably be in a hotel in New York City. And Joel, hopefully we link up then as well. More info coming on that as I get it. Joel, really appreciate you taking the time today, dog.
Yes, sir, man. Thank you for having me on.